President Trump got booed at the NBA Finals. Voters head to the polls in Maine today, and I'll share a great reason for younger children to resent their big siblings. That's some of what we'll get to on the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Tuesday, June 9th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Number 1. Israel and Iran signaled that they would stop attacking each other for now. Starting over the weekend, Israel and Iran traded long-range missile strikes for the first time since a ceasefire was agreed in April. It threatened to tip the region back into all-out war. The escalation began after Israel carried out an airstrike on Sunday in southern Beirut in Lebanon. That's a stronghold of the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah. But yesterday, Iranian and Israeli leaders suggested they had delivered the messages they wanted to send, and the strikes ended. President Donald Trump had urged Israel to show restraint as the renewed fighting threatened ongoing negotiations between Iran and the U.S. Many in Israel have bristled at Trump's efforts to reach a deal with Iran. In office, Trump has forged a strong alliance with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. But now their priorities are diverging, exposing a rift between the two leaders and their countries. President Trump's $100,000 fee on H-1B visas for highly skilled workers was struck down. That's number 2. Last year, Trump announced a huge annual fee on successful applicants for a high-skilled worker visa program that is widely used in Silicon Valley. It was a major new roadblock in a key path to legal immigration. But yesterday, a judge declared the fee unlawful. He said Trump unilaterally imposed an illegal tax bypassing Congress and failed to consider the impact of his actions on sectors experiencing labor shortages. The judge said the fee, which previously topped out at $5,000, led to fewer applications for H-1B visas. Trump's higher fee had been challenged by California and 19 other states. The Trump administration is expected to appeal the ruling. Number 3. President Trump was greeted by boos at Madison Square Garden during the NBA Finals. Trump's hometown team, the New York Knicks, took on the San Antonio Spurs in Game 3 of the NBA Finals last night. There was no announcement when the president arrived in a suite a few minutes before the game began. But then, midway through the national anthem, the big screens above the court showed Trump's face. This was the reaction. The boos were not unexpected in deep blue New York City. Plus, Trump's presence had caused chaos for fans attending the game. They had to show up hours before tip-off to get through intense security lines. And they didn't even get to see their team win. The Knicks lost 115-111, ending a 13-game playoff winning streak. They play again tomorrow. Trump is not expected to attend. Number 4. Voters will weigh in today on one of the nation's most significant Senate races. Republican Senator Susan Collins is running to represent Maine in the Senate for a 6th term. It's the Democrats' best chance yet to unseat her in November, but the Democratic primary has seen more than its fair share of drama. Graham Plattner is the overwhelming favorite to win the nomination. His primary opponent, Governor Janet Mills, ended her campaign in April after failing to gain traction in the polls. But Plattner has been dogged throughout his campaign by a series of troubling revelations about his past, including allegations that he sent sexually explicit text messages to women while married. But at a town hall on Sunday, he turned his attention to the November race against Collins.
You could not come up with a better avatar of the self-serving establishment politician who has been there for decades, telling us that there was no other alternative.
Speaking to reporters after an event honoring veterans in Maine on Friday, Collins brought up the most recent allegations against Plattner. The New York Times reported that he had had a number of volatile relationships with women.
The allegations in the latest story are troubling, and I believe that Graham Plattner has a lot of questions to answer.
Plattner's Democratic opponent, Janet Mills, is still on the ballot, so it remains to be seen if she could receive a protest vote. For the results from this critical race, check out the Post's app or homepage this evening. Number 5. According to a new federal report, the health dangers of alcohol spike after more than one drink a day. This study was originally commissioned by the Biden administration and was published today. It found that moderate drinking increases the risk of early death and diseases such as cancer, heart disease, and liver disease. So it recommended that Americans limit themselves to no more than one drink a day. That somewhat contradicts the latest guidance from the Trump administration. In January, new federal dietary guidelines pulled back on alcohol messaging, cautioning people to simply consume less alcohol for better overall health. It didn't offer specifics or define what moderate drinking actually means. According to a former health official, a draft of the new federal study was sidelined by Trump officials amid criticism from the alcohol industry. But a spokeswoman for the Health and Human Services Department denied that the study had been shelved. Number 6. You can test your food safety knowledge in our new interactive quiz. The CDC estimates that 48 million people get sick from foodborne illnesses every year. I am often one of them. But no one wants to throw good food away, so it's important to know when something is fine to eat or when you should toss it. One frequent concern is undercooked roast chicken. Seeing pink or red bits can be unsettling. But according to experts, if you have tested the meat with a food thermometer and the thickest portion is 165 degrees, it's okay to eat. Apparently, the color can come from pigment that has seeped from a chicken's bone marrow, the cooking method, or even the animal's diet, injuries, or stress. Another concern that often crops up is whether leftover rice is safe to eat. Our experts say that if you have cooled your rice promptly and you eat it within a few days, you should be fine. Problems arise when rice spends too much time without proper refrigeration. Our reporters designed a quiz to test your knowledge about the safety of vegetables, eggs, jam, cheese, and more. You can find a link to take it in our newsletter. And you have a head start. I just told you the answer to 2 of the questions. And at number 7, there's a surprising reason your birth order affects your future. Bad news for little sisters like me. A landmark study in 2005 found that younger siblings fare worse than firstborns on lifetime earnings, educational achievement, mental health, and, for women, teen pregnancy. There are a few possible reasons for this. For one thing, younger children tend to get less parental attention than firstborns for obvious reasons. But there's another, perhaps unexpected cause for this gap in achievement. It's being exposed to all the germs your older siblings bring home from school. In another big study, exposure to respiratory viruses before a baby's first birthday consistently predicted reduced earnings, education, and health decades later. The good news is that there are steps parents can take to protect their younger babies, like getting vaccinated against RSV, flu, and whooping cough before or during pregnancy to pass immunity on to a newborn. The other good news is that if you are a younger sibling, next time you're out with your big brother or sister, now you have a great reason that they should pick up the tab. All right, you're all caught up. If you want even more ammunition to lob at your siblings, you should get a premium subscription to the Washington Post. That way you can read the full story and get 3 extra accounts to share with whoever exposed you to respiratory viruses as a child. We have a great deal on an intro offer. Find the details at washingtonpost.com/subscribe. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.